From the land down under, with the rock at its centre, comes the little Aussie watchman. Gay conversion therapy has been banned in Victoria. Dear listeners, the Victorian government in Australia, the most left-wing government in the history of Australian politics, once again drives a nail into Christianity, essentially criminalising those who help people voluntarily asking for help in turning from a gay lifestyle, which is statistically associated with higher levels of self-harm, drug dependence and mental health disorders. While Christians would deplore and condemn enforced conversion therapy paraded around by the politicians as what this bill ostensibly is against, the wording of the bill is broad and wide-ranging. If anybody is proven to be found helping change or suppress someone's sexuality or gender identity, they face up to 10 years in jail or can be fined up to $10,000. This bill criminalises conversations that are voluntary, i.e. if someone asks for help to change their sexuality and you help them, then they change their mind and report you, you can go to prison for 10 years. The Victorian government has done something which is unconscionable. They have criminalised free speech. They have thrown their fist at God and have made Christians who openly care and help their neighbours to be criminals. Free speech is dead. There is no denying it. Listen to this wolf in snake's clothing. Anna Faithful from the so-called Justice Department said the bill was aimed at criminalising conversations only where a person intended to change or induce that person to change or suppress their sexual orientation or gender identity. Conversations between children and their parents or other family caregivers about sexual orientation or gender identity matters would only, in quotation marks, be captured if the conversation satisfied the above three elements and does not fall within an exception. It's unbelievable. This kind of thought control and social engineering is without parallel in Australia. It is beyond egregious and highlights the depths of depravity left-wing governments will go to enforce their beliefs upon those who they believe are morally inferior. Let me repeat. No Bible-believing Christian would ever force someone to change their sexual preference or gender identity against their will. This is barbaric and to be condemned. But all Bible-believing Christians are aware that sexual sin and mental health problems such as gender identity confusion are harmful not only in this life, but also in eternity. We are morally obliged to warn people of these dangers, and to not do so would be not only to disown our Christ our Saviour, but also Jehovah, our Creator God. Of course, such Christian persecution will only drive the practice underground. It will be so much harder for those who generally want help in escaping the gay lifestyle, which is not only abomination in the eyes of God, but also associated with significant harmful behaviours, for them to find the help that they desperately crave. Those people will have to drive out of the state of Victoria to look for spiritual help in one of the freer states. Of course, if the argument was flipped, it would be condemned by all members of the establishment and their media allies instantaneously. Imagine criminalising someone who was trying to convince somebody else who is straight that they should be gay, even if that person wants to be gay. That would immediately criminalise the majority of Victorian schools who are trumpeting the virtues of the gay lifestyle to their mostly straight students. As Victoria plunges into a moral abyss and becomes a depraved anti-Christian cesspool, it does so by criminalising the very people who can help lift it out of the murky mire. It has cut off the hand that can help it, and by doing so sealed its fate in the annals of history. May God have mercy on the rotting carcass which is the Victorian government. Take note that the majority of the quotation marks right-wing government also supported this travesty, which will lead to sting operations performed by the LGBT community in order to take down their opposition. Welcome to Dystopia, Victoria. If you don't think it will get worse, you are blind.